Hello everybody, Bradley here for a different type of video today. Part of what I want to do as a content creator is interact with you guys more on a personal level from time to time and not just through the medium of video games that we currently interact. So I thought it'd be fun to hopefully do these monthly, but certainly right now and certainly one in another month, do a little Q&A with you guys where you guys can submit questions. I opened this up to people on YouTube just in general, YouTube subs who get the notifications for the community posts, and Twitch subscribers who are in the Discord. I went to the sub-only chat in the Discord and pulled a few questions, and we're going to do a Q&A today. I don't want to take too long off the top in this one, so just thanks for all the things. If you're a new subscriber or a channel member or whatever, just thank you so much for all of the things that I routinely thank people for. Also, all the links to all the things are in the description below. Right down there, we got Discord and Twitch. You should definitely head over to the Twitch and the Discord. Twitter's there as well. Sometimes I tweet funny things. I'm sure there's a variety of other things and links down there. So check out the description, you guys. All right, question 1 is from Moy Sauce, also from the Civ Show, by the way. Thank you, Moy, for the question. Was there a specific moment I knew I wanted to be a content creator? The answer to that is no. I started content creating because of COVID, if I'm being honest. Always liked video games, always liked doing this kind of thing, performing. I'm an extroverted person. Just being loud and in front of people is kind of my gig, and I really enjoy it. Once COVID hit, I typically work outside with lots of people, and I'm very interactive and extroverted and social. Now I'm inside with nothing to do. I can play video games. I have a decent computer. Streaming and content creation was just kind of the natural thing for me to do to pass the time during COVID. So I never thought it would get this far or that it would be even this successful, however you want to measure this channel as a success so far. So there was never a moment for me that I was like, hey, you know what? I want to be a content creator. It was just kind of a natural slide into it based on how COVID was working. Now that I'm doing it though, there hasn't really been that moment where I'm like, man, this is what I want to do for a living. For right now, this is super fun. It's more than a hobby. It's something I treat like a job. I try and stick to a schedule. I try and put in a certain amount of hours each week. I try and make sure you guys can expect a certain kind of quality when you watch the channel. So I treat it like a job in those ways. And I am making a little bit of money off of it from channel memberships or Twitch subs. And we're using that money to upgrade the microphone and pay an editor and those types of things. So I haven't had that moment where I've really thought about this as a long-term, full-time job type of thing either, but I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. This came about because of COVID, and I hope that answers your question. Also from Moy Sauce, is it possible for me to grow facial hair? Yes, but not very well. Look, is it possible? Obvious, it's here. Moy, we've been on camera together. You know this, but can I grow it well? Absolutely not. It's a little bit patchy. The beard doesn't really go up on the cheeks. The mustache, you know what? The mustache has been a real revelation. When I was 16 or 17 and it was first coming out, the beard was like this the whole time. The beard has always been like this, just not too bad, but mostly patchy and neck beardy, right? But not terrible. The mustache, though, has been a real game changer over the years. It's gotten better and better and better and better and just keeps getting better. So I'm hopeful. So the answer is yes, but not well. We have a couple questions from Timorius now. First, what was my favorite subject in school? Favorite subject was PE, physical education, gym class, whatever you want to call it. Loved being outside, loved playing sports, played loads of sports as a kid. It's just the easy favorite class. If I had to pick one, my favorite class ever, and it was mostly because of the teacher, my favorite class ever was history in year 12. That year 12 history class was incredible. English year 11 was also really good. We're about to do a podcast deep dive into Hamilton. I'm a huge sucker for, not that Hamilton is Shakespeare, but I'm a huge sucker for that type of thing. Shakespeare, poetry, musicals. It's not something I focus too much time on, but when I'm into it, I'm really into it. So English class was always good for me, although it's not great for a lot of people. And English year 11 was my favorite. And so other than the obvious PE for me, history in year 12 specifically, and English in year 11 specifically. I want to accept, you know what? Except English 11, the teacher made us watch that awful Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet thing, and I was not vibing. It's just such a terrible movie. So English 11, but minus that, because that was an awful day. I hate that movie. Have I had any celebrity encounters? I have not had any celebrity encounters. No, no one that I would consider a celebrity. I did see one time Tom Felton, the dude who played Draco Malfoy, at a bar in Vancouver, but I did not interact or do any. He was just there briefly, kind of coming and going as I was coming and going as well, and a few people I was with pointed them out. So he was there. That's the biggest, like, celebrity encounter. I had a dream one time, though. I was at a music festival in Seattle. This part is true. I was at a music festival in Seattle. Lorde was headlining. This was a couple of years ago. And I had a dream that I met Lorde at the Ferris wheel in Seattle. And for like half an hour, I got to like stand in line with Lorde and go on the Ferris wheel with Lorde. And then the dream ended. But so real life, Tom Felton, I saw him at a bar. And that, I don't know if that counts as an encounter, but it's the best I got. And then in my head, I met Lorde one time at a Ferris wheel in Seattle. Moving on to a couple questions from Boesthius now. The man himself, Boesthius, coming in with two of like the deepest kind of, I don't want to, like, sometimes the simple questions are the best ones, but man, these two are hitting. Where do I see myself in 10 years, realistic versus ideal? So the first thing I need to do is preface kind of how I view life. I try not to stick to a very specific plan. You know, growing up, I didn't stick to like, go to school, then go to university, then become a doctor, then be a doctor for this long, then be whatever. Like, I just don't like that. Life is complicated. Life presents all kinds of opportunities all the time, and I don't want to limit myself by trying to stick too closely to a plan. And so I have an idea of the types of things I want to do and generally where I want to go, but I try not to, like, when teachers always ask me, like, make your 15-year plan, I'm like, I'm not doing that. For instance, like, this kind of YouTube thing that we're doing right now is not possible if I have a 5 or a 10-year plan that I actually stick to, because guess what? Life isn't going to stick to it. Life's going to give you COVID. Life's going to make it so you can't do the job you were doing and can't stick to your plan. And so I try to have a general idea, but I really hate and never will truly do like pinpoint plans about where I want to end up in life, because life doesn't know what your plan is, and life doesn't really care, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of making your own luck that goes into executing your plan. The harder you try for it, the more likely you are to succeed. But I just find life a little too random, and it'll just throw things at you that you're not expecting, and I'd rather be able to take those opportunities than not. With that being said, though, within 10 years, realistic and ideal, I'm someone who definitely wants kids. I work with kids right now, like 200 of them at a time, and they scream and they bully each other, and it's a lot of work. So I don't want kids at this point in my life. But when I'm finally kind of done working with kids so often, I think I'd be ready to have my own. So that's somewhere I definitely want to be within 10 years. I'm someone who definitely wants kids, and I want to have kids young enough that I can be an active part of their lives while they're growing up, so I can be like physically there to do fun things with them. So I'm 25 now. I want to say by the time I'm 35, whatever level or measure of settled down, again, I don't like making big plans, right? But whatever level of settled down feels appropriate for then. Definitely by then, though, I want to have whatever kids I'm going to have in this lifetime. Probably by 35, I think is a good time to have that done and dusted, and then I can spend the rest of my life doing the fun things with them. Bose again with a heavy hitter. Outside of Civ, what other content would I like to do? Oh boy, so it's good for you guys to know this. Not right, sorry, microphone stand. Not right now, because it's not a huge deal and nothing on the channel is really changing too much soon. But I definitely want to expand content creation. I'm not someone who likes to be limited to one game, much like an actor might not like being typecast into a specific type of role, right? So right now we're going with Civ. Civ is working. I have no plans on ever stopping Civ, or like if Civ 7 comes out, not hopping over to the next Civ game. But I would like to expand what we're doing. You know, we already have a cool Football Manager stream going on. A lot of the Civ guys have come over to Football Manager, and that's been amazing. We're having so much fun with VBFC. If I was doing this full time and it was just my ideal world, you'd have the VanBradley channel for mostly Civ content. You would have a VBFC YouTube channel where we could just do a bunch of fun Football Manager stuff, but you would also have other games and other content. Like I'm always like, everyone here, Boesthius, Moy Sauce. There's a bunch of other content creators asking questions as well. Just like you guys, my brain is just always going with new ideas, right? I'd love to do a Stardew Valley series, that type of thing, where it's just like once or twice a week in the mornings, maybe a Sunday morning video comes out, and we'll just play some Stardew Valley, and that would be fun and chill and have like a community farm. So I think ideally right now, I would do a Civ channel, a Football Manager channel, and have those both running if I was doing this full time, with a third thing mixed in like Stardew Valley to spice it up on the Civ channel. I think the Civ channel makes a lot of sense because Civ is easier for people to jump from Civ to something else, whereas Football Manager is a little harder. And so I think that would be at a Civ channel, an FM channel, and then we're also doing podcasts and stuff. We just wrapped up our Bridgerton podcast deep dive, and we are moving into a Hamilton podcast deep dive soon. So there's all that kind of extracurricular content I'd like to do as well. SSJ1 asks, what do I do for work? That is a good question, SSJ1. I am a program coordinator. There's a bunch of different things you could title my job, and it's a little bit complicated, but I'm a program coordinator at an outdoor school / summer camp. So what that looks like is there's a facility. It's a huge facility. It's on like 100 acres of land. The facility is around 3 acres big in terms of the area we use for most of our activities. And in the spring and the fall, it runs mostly as an outdoor school. So we have archery and kayaking and canoeing and all these fun outdoor activities. And then people book the space to come up with their school or with their group, whether they're coming with a group, like I said, from school, or they're coming from work. Sometimes we get like a group of accountants who are doing a fun day out of the office, right? So we have the site there, and then we facilitate those programs. And so my job for that is to hire the staff and do the programming and make sure everything's running smoothly. Not a fully behind the scenes role. I'm outside lots. I'm doing a lot of the activities. I still have to have all the certifications. Like I have my belaying and ropes inspection certifications and my first aid, like my super duper fancy business first aid and those types of things. So I'm active and I'm out there, but mostly my real job is a lot of the admin side of it and making sure things are running smoothly and that we have a staff team and that the policy manual is up to date and that things are being safe and that we're adhering to all the standards we got to adhere to. And so that's mainly my job during those times. Summer camp is just like you imagine it. There's all these fun things, and the kids come to summer camp. Their parents drop them off. We take them to camp, and we have a good time. Canoeing, kayaking, archery, those types of things. During that, again, responsibilities are fairly similar. Got to hire all the staff, got to train everyone, got to make sure summer camp is going. There's just another level of difficulty because during summer camp, we are responsible for the care of 200 people's children, right? Or 200 children from 400 parents, like whatever the math is, right? But you have a lot of parents with a lot of different thoughts and different ways of parenting, and you're bringing in all these kids from different backgrounds and in different families and from different kind of socioeconomic situations. And so a lot of my job is to navigate that. Do we need extra help? Do we need different people to come up and mentor the kids? Do we need whatever? So it's a lot of coordinating. It's a lot of admin work, but I love it. I wouldn't pick a better job. I don't think it's something, at least at this point in my life, I really love doing. I have no complaints. It's not something that I want to give up anytime soon. So that's mostly what it is. Basically an administrator at a outdoor school / summer camp, but it is a lot more complicated than that in terms of how it actually functions within the day-to-day work. I don't know how to explain. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here, but I hope that answers your question. Kyle J asks, if I could go back in time for one historical event, which one would I go back for? So I'm going to cheat with the rules a little bit here. I'm going to pick one event, but I'm going to be there for the whole day. I want to be there for the whole day. I'm also going to be a fly on the wall. I'm not going to be a physical sentient being that they know is there. This is just happening, and I'm just a ghost flying around, kind of like an aerial POV view, so I can get in where I want to get in and get the view. I want to do the day of the assassination of Julius Caesar. I want to wake up, right? I want to wake up. I'm a ghost in this situation. I want to get Caesar. He's out of bed and he's ready to go for the day. And he's going to the Senate to do Senate work, and he's going to be Julius Caesar. And then I want to skip. I want to go across, like, before Caesar gets to the Senate, and I want to hear what the people who are going to assassinate Julius Caesar, what are they talking about? Right? What are they planning? When did they do this? Like, how are they nervous? Are they going to do it? Are they not going to do it? And then I just want to see that whole thing. One of the most fascinating historical events to me is kind of the rise and the fall of Julius Caesar. And so if I had to pick one event, ideally I could just be a fly on the wall for that whole period of time. But man, like just that one day, I'll pick that 24-hour period, the day that Julius Caesar gets assassinated. I want to be there from morning till night. I want to see the aftermath. What are they like after they kill Caesar? Are they like excited? Are they nervous? Do they like, have that reckoning? Like, what have we just done? I want to just be there for that whole thing. And so that's my pick. There's a lot of good options. It was hard to pick one, but I'm fascinated by that whole thing. And so I think I'd pick that. Matt in his hat coming in hot with a flurry of questions. First of which, what is my favorite alcoholic beverage? Now, technically, my favorite alcoholic beverage would be like a really nice whiskey if I was just picking on like the absolute quality and cost of an alcoholic beverage. That would be my pick. Practically, though, it's gotta be beer. And I want to explain this because beer is not the best alcoholic beverage. I think everyone can agree on that. Maybe I'm being a little presumptuous there, right? But like, so everyone likes a cocktail more than they like beer, I think. But there's something about it's all feeling based. There's something about having a cold beer on a hot summer day that just hits in a way that nothing else hits, man. Give me any other alcoholic beverage at any other time, and nothing is going to hit as hard as a couple of cold ones on a hot summer's day. Plus, a lot of my most fond memories are drinking beer, because beer is such a versatile drink. You can find it at every bar. It's a bit of a slow burner in a lot of ways. So if you want to have a really long night out, you can have a couple of beers along the way. And you could, sometimes it's difficult, but you can prolong the evening on beer, right? 4 or 5% alcohol, depending. Like it doesn't hit too hard if you don't want it to. And so a lot of my favorite memories of just hanging out with friends or traveling, beer is like a universal drink. So whether I was in Peru or Ireland or the UK or wherever, I have all these memories of going to a pub, having a pint with my friends, or meeting new people over a beer. And it's just, I think it just has to be my favorite. I don't even think anything else comes close compared to like the actual feeling of having one on a hot day, compared to just all the memories I have associated with it. It's just, I think it's the overwhelming favorite. But if I had to just have like one drink right now, I would have a really nice glass of whiskey most of the time. Who is my favorite Civ leader? No, really. It's Shaka. I don't know why people don't believe it's Shaka. Every time I tell somebody it's Shaka, I hear something like, you don't even play Shaka that much. Or you never really do domination games, or like a bunch of things. Just believe me, it's Shaka. It's Shaka. Shaka is my favorite Civ. He's so fun. I love the idea that you can just take over cities and get cores and armies with the units that took over the cities. I think that's one of the most fun mechanics in the game. When I was learning Civ 6 before I started streaming it, just as I was picking up the game and learning it and really diving in, I would just keep playing Shaka over and over again because I just loved the kit so much. I don't know, it's just Shaka. Shaka's the answer. Maybe I don't have a deep explanation for it. Just if you go favorite Civ, I go Shaka. Like word association, Shaka's my favorite Civ. And now it might not seem like it based on, it's like having a favorite food that you don't eat all the time. Like my favorite food, like let's say my favorite food is pizza. I don't even remember the last time I had pizza, but I love pizza, right? It might be my favorite food. If I had to do a top 3, pizza might be in there, right? But I haven't had a pizza in a while. It's the same with Shaka. Shaka's my favorite. I don't know why people don't believe that Shaka's my favorite, but Shaka's my favorite. What is my favorite stream clip? Recency bias is creeping in here for sure. It has to be the clip of Gandhi launching the nuke at Cyrus in the last AIPL stream, man. There was no more hyped moment than I'm just talking and casting over an AI only game and the chat's popping off, and then all of a sudden, we had even in that stream, there's a little bit of context in that stream too, I had talked about like, will we even see a nuke be launched by the AI in the whole tournament? And then Gandhi, just for the memes, launches a nuke at Cyrus. It's so good, it's so funny. It's the perfect clip. If I'm talking about stream clips that aren't my clip, that are somebody else's clip, from the Civ show, or not the Civ show, the Civ Give. It might be a clip from the Civ show. I have no idea. I don't know whose perspective it's from. It might be Foible's perspective, I think. Me getting nuked in the Civ Give, if I had to pick a clip that's not from my stream's point of view, just my favorite clip on Twitch that I've seen, it's gotta be that one. I would like. I suppose I should say my favorite clip on Twitch that I'm involved in. So my favorite one from my stream is the AI Gandhi nuke. My favorite one that I was involved in, but that I didn't clip. Like I'm not. My perspective isn't being clipped, is when Peppermint Butler nuked my cities in the Civ give. It's too funny. It's so good to see Foible's reaction. Just two hilarious clips. Next question from Matt in his hat. How are your eyes so blue? Magic, my friend. Magic. What is my favorite tutorial video I have done so far? So there's a few different ways I'd have to look at this. I think my favorite ones are the districting ones because I think they were filling a gap in the kind of Civ tutorial realm. There's not a lot of great districting tutorials out there. The problem that I have with those ones is they were made when the production value was a lot lower, and I don't really want to redo them because it's hard to redo them and have two of like similar tutorials, right? You kind of have to wait long enough for the actual content and information to change, which we haven't really got to yet. So they're my original favorites, but I think each tutorial gets better than the last. The National Park tutorial that we just did, I really, really loved. I felt like I was concise. I was there. The information was relevant. I don't know how to define, but I really like the last one we did. And ideally, each tutorial I like better than the last one. And so I'm glad that my head is immediately jumping to the one we just did. Two more questions. Kyle J asks, dogs or cats? I'm a dogs guy, not because I dislike cats, because I'm allergic to most cats. Not severely allergic or anything, but just allergic enough that I couldn't own a cat. I don't think. I think I would just sneeze all the time. So I don't think I can own a cat. So I don't dislike cats. I like cats. I can go over to a friend's house that has a cat for a couple of hours, and it doesn't bother me too much if I take allergy meds. But definitely got to be a dog guy just because I'm allergic to one and not the other. But I like dogs. I love dogs. I love cats. I just like animals. So both, but dogs. If I could be the leader of any Civ for a day, who would I be? Gilgamesh. I just want to know what it feels like to be that buff. I just want one day with that beard and those muscles, and I just want to move my body around. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be the leader of an empire. I just want that amount of muscle mass to be that in shape with that facial hair and just exist in that body for a day to see what it's like. In this scenario, I get to come back to me, right? Maybe it would motivate me to be more fit. Maybe it would make me cry a lot that this beard I don't even want to talk about it in comparison to Gilgamesh's beard. It's got to be Gilgamesh. I just want to exist in a day in that body so I can understand what it's like to just move around with that much muscle and to have every single human look at you and go like, God damn, that's the most attractive man I've ever seen. Like, I just want that day in Gilgamesh's body to just exist so I know what that feels like. All right, and that does it for the questions. Thank you so much for everyone who asked a question, whether it was in Discord, whether it was on the YouTube comments. We'll try and do these once a month. The next time, hopefully, we'll have a little more production value, a few more things flying around, a few more transitions and all these kind of things. But for now, I just wanted to do one to see how we felt about it. Keep your eye out for the next Q&A kind of question period. I'll make sure the Discord is open for it and the YouTube comments are open for it. If you have any more questions that are just like quick questions that you want me to answer, feel free to put them in the comments, and I'll try and answer as many as I can down there. Unless I really like it, then I'll save it for the next Q&A. If it's a really good one for the next Q&A, I'll save the answer. But if it's just a quick question that you want to ask, feel free to put it in the comments and I will try to get to them. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I really want to try and be a little more personal with you guys sometimes so you guys get to know, like, hey, who is this guy we're watching, and not, hey, who is this Civ player dude who's on YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and subscribe button and all that fun stuff. Again, let me know everything in the comments. Read the description for all the links. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow morning, tomorrow AM, for more Civilization content. Cheers, everyone.